hi, hello. It's the LaSala show. Number 19 for January 7th, 2021. My guest today, Mr. Johnny Ace.
Oh!
How say you, sir?
What's up, nephew? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. We were supposed to do this yesterday, but a lot of shit went down yesterday, man. What the hell happened?
I'll let you start with this one.
All I know is I was supposed to be watching, I was just watching to see the votes come in for the Democratic runoff in Georgia. And so, I have my little guy, shout out to David Pakman, he does a show on YouTube. So I was just watching him, and then all of a sudden...
Wait. Pakman?
I know, right? It's kind of strange.
Yeah.
But that's his actual name. But yeah, and then all of a sudden all this coverage comes up. Motherfuckers scaling the wall at the Capitol building. They look like zombies, just like as they were walking towards the Capitol building, just like trudging along. Some dude selling some fucking French fries at a booth. It was insane. How did this happen?
By the way, one dude had a grill and like a tent and like a grill.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you know what I'm saying? What the fuck? This ain't a parade, man. What, you gonna get hungry while you're overthrowing the government?
I think so. Look at these fuckers.
I don't know what some of these people thought they were doing, like what they thought it was. You know what I'm saying? Going in there, looting, taking selfies, putting it on your social media page. I mean, the shit is treason. The shit is, an insurrection, punishable by 10 years or more in prison or life in prison. And then when the police finally start saying, all right, let's go, let's get out of here, they're just walking out like their life is not in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? Like walking out like, okay, guess we'll go on back home to Kentucky, honey.
Exactly. That was the weirdest part. It's like, where are you from, ma'am? She's like, I drove here from Tennessee and I got hit in the face and then they're like, well, why'd you come? It's a revolution. Overthrow the government. And I was like, what?
Yeah. Dude, okay. Let's start. I don't know where to start, but I'll start right here. Okay, these folks are dummies.
Right.
Okay.
I want to use a harsher word, and I think actually it's rude to say retard. But really, when you think about it in the musical sense, a retard is when you slow down for like a measure or so.
Mentally challenged is not inaccurate.
Well, also, I would feel bad just because mentally challenged people aren't even this stupid. Like, a Down syndrome person wouldn't go do something like this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a whole different level of
If
dumb.
Down syndrome people can be gaslit like these fools, then that's next on the agenda for the right wing.
Wow.
Know what I'm saying? Okay, but these people they're not just dummies. They're special kind of dummies, okay? Okay, there was an interview with Beck, the recording artist Beck.
Yeah.
I saw an interview with him where somebody asked him, like, what is it about the live shows that you love to do live shows so much? And he said, well, a lot of people listen to our music on the radio, right? And then a fewer select people actually like it enough to go buy the CD. I'm showing my age, but this was in the days of the CDs. But, and then a fewer more select people actually go to the live show. And so that's my people right there. That's the people I really want to entertain and show a good time, is the people that actually go to the show. Okay. And so these dummies that stormed into the Capitol building, they're the ones that actually go to the show. I mean, there's a whole bunch of Trump dummies out there, but, most of them just keep their gun in their gun case and watch Fox News and sit on the couch. And then there's a select few that go to the rallies. And then there's an even more select few when you get down to the nitty-gritty. That's what we saw storming the Capitol, is the dumbest of the dummies. I mean, these are special kind of dumb kind of people. Hook, line, sinker. They believe Newsmax, One America. A lot of them were QAnon. In fact, the woman that got shot was a QAnon person.
Yep.
And I mean, these are the I don't know. I don't know if you want to call them the cream of the crop or the bottom of the barrel. But you know what I'm saying? These people are it. It's the dumbest of the dumb. And they were gaslit into basically sacrificing the rest of their fucking lives for this orange freak. And it's just sad. It is so sad, man. They got kids. They got families, these people, and they're going to go to jail for a long time, man. Last I heard, which was like 1 p.m. today, they arrested 16 today. And on the Capitol grounds there are security cameras everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Facial recognition is going to be no problem.
Inside, outside. I mean, and these people are just roaming around, man, sitting in Nancy Pelosi's desk, sitting in the president of the Senate chair and all this shit, posting the shit on their own social media and even confessing in the videos that they're posting. Like, yeah, that was me. I mean, this is dumbest of the dumb, man. And the thing is, I'm not surprised by the whole shebang, and I'm surprised this kind of thing didn't happen earlier in this process. But what I'm really surprised is that there weren't more people.
Right.
And, like, for example, if you take that crowd, I don't know how many thousands of people there were. I don't know, man. Maybe a few thousand, maybe 5,000, maybe 10,000. I can't judge by what I saw.
Yeah, somebody was trying to say it was like, millions of patriots were out there. It's like, millions? That looked like a Nickelback concert or something. Like everybody on the lawn, like, it was pretty pathetic.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's almost everybody that was there was, like, on the building, basically. But suppose you double or triple that number, you might have some problems.
Right.
I mean, they could have completely infiltrated that building and gotten down to where I know they got tunnels and everything under there so they can get those representatives and senators out of there underground, I mean, I don't want to be giving away all the nation's secrets.
Right. I know you have a manifesto that you haven't released yet, but let's try to keep it.
There's only so much I can say.
I know.
But, I mean, I wanted to get angry at what I was watching because I got a little bit of patriot in me, man. I get moved a little bit, when I think about those hallowed halls, you know what I'm saying? And so I part of me wanted to get angry, but it's hard to get angry at stupid.
Yeah.
Especially when it's so comically stupid.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
I think the only part that really angered me was just how everyone was able to walk around willy-nilly, and the cops were just sort of like, all right, buddy, cool down, Jack. Let's just relax. Come on. I mean, you rarely saw like much. I mean, people were breaking windows and shit. My main thing was, if it would have been even half of that many people and they were all black, that would have been an entirely different situation. Yes or yes?
Yes. I've got a couple thoughts about this, but you're right. Absolutely. And, they've shown the photos of all of the National Guard that was there and everything for the Black Lives Matter, and how there was, comparatively, there was almost no protection against the Trump supporters.
I would assume they would just have snipers on top of every government building in Washington. And if shit started to get crazy, there would just be like a few like warning shots. Like, all right, let's just pick off a few of them and send a message.
Yeah. My thought about it is, it's true that the protection was obviously lacking, and we'll get to the bottom of it. Somebody made that decision, and as far as I know, we haven't gotten to the bottom of that yet. But here's the thing, though, to me, is the way it played out, to me, is just perfect, because these people were, first of all, they were able to get all of the lawmakers safe, basically, get them to a safe location and all that. They were ultimately able to gain control and get the people, disperse the crowd, so that the Congress was right back to work just hours later. Nobody got killed except for the one woman, and I think there were 3 medical emergencies. But there wasn't any kind of widespread bloodshed, which we don't want, because dead people become martyrs.
Right.
And so I didn't want that. As you can see, I'm kind of looking at this sort of analytically and strategically,
This is textbook stuff.
But from that perspective, from a purely strategic perspective, it was perfect, because these people were able to come right on in. They're on all the cameras. They're all going to be rounded up. Everyone that set foot in that building is going to be rounded up, arrested, put on trial. Most are going to be convicted, and they're going to go away for a long time. Right. And that is going to have a much more advantageous effect on the MAGA movement, than it would be if a bunch of them got killed and then became martyrs and made the movement stronger.
Right.
You with me?
Exactly. That's perfect. That's a perfect point. And yeah, you're losing a quarter of your fan base right there. You just took out one of the most important parts of your shit fan base, and now you can send a message to the rest of them.
Absolutely. And it's not just any of the fan base. It's the dumbest of the dumb and the true insiders and leaders. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like basically all of the upper ranks of this shit are going to get taken out. And if you're old Jim Bob, who went to this thing and, was kind of on the outskirts and kind of wanted to jump in, but didn't, so that you're safe.
Yep.
If you were thinking about jumping into that thing, you definitely, once you see Jethro and, and Bubba and all his friends, like, just going to jail for a long time, and you're hearing about how they're having to watch their cornhole in prison, man, you're not jumping in.
Yeah,
now.
You might focus your energy on other things.
Yeah,
outside
you're going to find a new hobby.
Exactly. That's my other thing. I was like, do any of these people have jobs? Like, did they call out of work today for this, or did they take the whole week off to overthrow the government, or like to take selfies
speaking of people losing their jobs, it came out today that one of the owners of Rouse's.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's a supermarket chain here in the South Louisiana. And one of the owners of Rouse's was there. I don't know if did the Rouse's guy go in the building and all that? Or he was just there?
All I know is that there was a picture of him. That's the last I heard. But the most frustrating thing was, not yesterday, but the day before, I placed an order from Rouse's. So never again. They got some good chicken.
Yeah, I'm going to miss that Rouse's sushi. But, because that got me through some hard times.
Yeah.
But, yeah, screw that, man. There's nothing you can get at Rouse's that you can't get somewhere else. So,
Fuck them.
fuck them.
The thing that they were screaming or chanting whenever they would do like the live look-in was "Fight for Trump," which I thought was pretty basic. I mean, I guess all chants sort of can't be a little wordy, but "Fight for Trump" whenever you're just running around stealing like memorabilia from the Capitol building, I don't see how that's really fighting for Trump.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Like one dude was walking around with an empty drawer. Like, what the fuck you gonna do with that, man?
Yeah, why didn't they like hack into why weren't some of the people that were sitting at these desks and everything, why couldn't any of them be smart enough to hack into the computers and actually do something?
Yeah.
They were just sitting there with their feet up like, all right, I'm here. I never thought I'd actually get here. I'm just going to sit here and bask in it. Did somebody get my picture? Okay, cool. I'll look like a badass. All right, post it. You could have gone and...
What did they think? What was the next step? Like, what did they think? What were they going to do?
Yeah, I think even they were surprised they got as far as they did, and they had no follow-up.
Yeah. So they bust through, MAGA, 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 make America great again. It's the people's house, and we bust through security. And then now they're in the rotunda. And what do? They start taking pictures and start rummaging through desks.
Yeah, I think every sixth person just had their phone up, like recording the shit. Like, I'm going to show my wife when I get home. Meanwhile, his wife is banging some pool boy and about to divorce him.
Right. Probably banging some liberal.
Ooh! Well, the one solace we can take from this whole thing is that the Democrats did, in fact, win the runoff in Georgia. That's major, right?
Yeah, that was the other thing. Dude, I never thought I would see in my lifetime. Are you freaking kidding me? Georgia is going to vote for Biden, and then they're going to elect 2 blue senators?
Georgia.
Man, I don't know. I don't know if a bunch of New Yorkers are moving down to Georgia or what the hell. Texas is nervous, by the way, because they didn't win by that much in Texas. Ted Cruz almost lost, and now you got all these California businesses are relocating to Texas for tax,
and comedians as well. Yeah, that could become a blue state, and then maybe it'll infiltrate Louisiana. That's too much to ask for, I know, but still.
Well, comedians must be moving there for the material.
Well, they're moving there for the prospect of actually doing live stand-up comedy. Because the restrictions in California,
there ain't no rules in Texas.
No, man, they're opening that shit. They have little speakeasies. People get tested before they get in the show. In California, it's like, no, you can't even go to an outdoor dinner now. Meanwhile, fucking Gavin Newsom is out there eating his fucking corn on the cob as if nothing's going on. Hypocrites. Yeah. See, that's what I don't like hypocrites. If you're going to do something, do it. If you're going to shoot black people, shoot white people, do it. Come on. Or don't do it at all. One or the other. I don't like this preferential treatment. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't like hypocrites on either side, man.
So Trump is now banned from Twitter and Facebook and Instagram indefinitely.
Yeah, just in time, huh?
Yeah. Couldn't we have done this maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah, and all this disinformation that he's been spreading, man, for 5 years.
I love that he keeps going back to the word landslide. Like, we won by a landslide. Really? Are you That's why you're asking for 11,000 dusty-ass votes, you bitch?
Yeah.
A landslide, huh, sir?
Yeah, and 11,000 was the closest he came.
Yeah.
To winning one of these swing states.
So what, 13 more days? Is it that the fuck is gone?
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed and our buttholes tightened because I don't think this rodeo's over yet. I still see a little fuckery afoot.
Yeah.
So what's up with you, man? How you been besides all this national chaos?
Okay, man. I'm off from work for a month, isolating, and 'cause shit's getting real, you know.
Yeah, we're setting records for deaths and all the COVID curriculum. It's still not settled. And I got to tell you, ever since I've been back in Louisiana, masks are optional down here. In New York, you would get fucking stared at, shunned. Nobody gives a goddamn down here.
Yeah, I just straight up could not live there, man. I can't even visit there.
Where?
The Lafayette.
Oh, interesting. So you saying New Orleans probably has a better policy than Lafayette?
Well, yeah. New Orleans has got a mandate going on, and I mean, it's kind of a state thing as well as a city thing. But yeah, I mean, same here as in New York. I mean, you go somewhere without a mask, I mean, you're going to put it on or you're going to leave.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it's people aren't really tolerating it. But you know, I mean, they got this new strain now that is more contagious. It's easier to catch it, you know.
Oh yeah, it's mutated. That's
Yeah.
great.
So, and it won't be the last mutation, you know. I mean, eventually, you know, the vaccines are going to kind of shut it down. But, you know, it's people are wearing their mask in New Orleans, but not properly all the time.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
you got this mask around the chin, or, oh, I'm going to speak to you now, so let me pull my mask down.
It's either that or the nose that's the worst. Whenever
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you need to see my lips to see what I'm saying, it's like you're defeating the whole purpose. I see this a lot during the
yeah,
NFL and NBA where it's sort of a different circumstance because all those people are getting tested all the time, daily. I don't even see why they need to wear masks to begin with, but it's sort of contradictory if you're just sitting there and your big stupid nose is hanging out of the mask. Like, why even wear a mask to
yeah,
begin with?
yeah. So it's people not wearing the mask properly, and this new, you know, there's an uptick in uptick. Hell, the freaking levee is breaching on COVID in terms of positivity rates and everything, and then you got this new, more contagious strain, and it's just I'm just sitting a few plays out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so did you take off work
Myself,
because of the COVID or what's the deal with that?
absolutely.
Yeah, and they were okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I just put in for a leave of absence, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like all these people that are going out and working. Like when I go to the corner store now, I don't have bodegas anymore. I have corner stores or gas stations. Uh, there's a sign on the fucking door that says "Please wear a mask," and you walk in and you're the only one wearing a mask. Even the guy behind the counter isn't wearing a mask. What the hell are we doing here?
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, man, look, once we got the vaccine, once I get that shot in my arm, you know, then I'm cool. We can all go back to normal, and I can forget that I hate you when there's a pandemic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's certain people at my job, you know, I got neighbors that don't wear masks, you know, or don't wear them properly. I mean, I hate those people. I hate them right now. But I remember how I got along with them before all this shit was going down. And so I'm looking forward to the day that once I get that shot in my arm, don't have to worry about this shit anymore. I can like them again.
Well, how many friends do you think you've lost just over the past year, whether it's with Trump or with the masks or just the handling of their own shit?
Well, I've lost a lot due to Trump.
Right.
I've lost
Well, that's
I've
mostly
lost touch with a lot of
that's
family.
mostly family. I was about to say.
Yeah. I ditched the Facebook, which pretty much puts me out of touch with, a lot of people. Although, if anyone really needs to find me, I mean, they can get in touch with someone who can get in touch with me. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's not like, but that's all because of Trump, and then, but besides that, because of the virus, it's not that I've lost friends, but it's more so that I'm not spending time with certain people. Like, for example, there's one guy that that we want to go rail fanning, which is just going out and filming trains, right? And I want to do that so bad because, you get a lot of views and a lot of subscribers on YouTube for just filming trains for whatever reason. So I want to do that real bad, but I'm not going to do it with this person because I love him to death, but he doesn't wear masks.
Right.
So I'm not going to be in the car with him. I'm not going to be out and about with him, so things like that, we've got a couple friends coming over to hang with us pretty soon. And we've got a plan where we're going to hang out in the courtyard outside with them, and we're going to take precautions and all that, social distance and all that. But I'm still nervous about it. And I still kind of don't want to do it, and I love these people, I want to see them. I want to hang out with them, and hell, not just them, but anybody, because I haven't been hanging out with anybody, so I crave the social interaction, but, it's just, man, there's just no reason to take chances with this thing,
Yeah, I feel the same way, and it's been weird to hang out with people since I've been back, where it's like some of my best friends that I haven't seen in over 4 years, and like the first one that came over, I had a mask on, and he was like, "Oh, come on, are we really gonna do this?" And there was like that weird moment where I was like, I mean, all right, whatever, if I die, I die, whatever. Also, we were sitting outside. We have high ceilings here in this house. It's constant airflow. It's not like I'm making out with the guy. It's
Yeah, I hear that.
it's
But
kind of
see,
awkward.
your guy right there, that's an example of someone that I would, in my mind, I would be saying, fuck you for putting my wife and people that I interact with at risk. It's like sex without a condom. Know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If I hang out with you and breathe your air and you breathe my air, then I'm breathing the air of every person who has had contact with you and vice versa.
Right. And
you know what I'm saying? It's
yeah.
like unprotected sex.
I know.
You know.
I know. And then I went and played basketball the other day, which was highly irresponsible, but it was outdoors. And, for some reason, I just have like this cloak of immunity about myself when I'm outdoors. Like, I am the guy that wears his face mask on his chin when I'm outside and no one's around, or if I'm not talking to anybody. Like, if I'm walking to the store and there's fucking nobody, there's just cars whizzing by, I'm not wearing the mask. I'll put it on my chin to let people know, look, I'm a mask wearer, just not right now.
Right. And listen, I've got friends that are like that, and that's why I'm isolating. I don't want to hate anybody. I don't want to hate people for what I feel like is putting my life at risk and the people I care about putting their lives at risk. I don't want to hate them for that when I got along just fine with them before all this, and will again once all this shit is over with. I don't want to form lifelong hatred against certain people. So I'm just fucking isolate. Once all this is over, everything will be fine. I feel like that's the way I have to kind of look at it.
Now, are you taking your vitamins, John Ace?
Uh, I don't. You mean weed?
Yes, I mean cannabis.
You
I think they actually did say something about cannabis that it helps. They're always saying shit about cannabis and how it helps. I think they're overcompensating a little bit, but specifically about COVID and how it's sort of. I don't want to speak out of turn, but like it regenerates some sort of important aspect of your body that could fight off COVID.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds like a reach, right? But I don't know. We'll see. But no, I'm talking about like, preventative measures where you're supposed to take 1,000 units of vitamin D a day. And
Yeah, I hear a lot of people saying that, but I don't know, man. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that helps your immune system, like your cayenne pepper, I think, and just all
whiskey.
kinds of natural immune boosting things. But I mean, what am I going to trust that? I don't know. Am I going to do that? Am I going to take some cayenne pepper and then go run around making out with everybody? Nah.
That's a little extreme, but I think you would do that actually on a drunken
I mean,
night.
once I get that shot in my arm,
Yeah, that's
look
what I'm
out.
saying. I wonder what it's like to be courted by a young John Ace. That must have been something. What was your move?
Well, it was a rare occurrence
Did you break out the
because I
saps?
didn't have the rocks, Jesse.
Ah,
I didn't have the gonads.
stones, sir.
I just let the women come to me. You know what I'm saying?
That's a power move, I would say.
Yeah, and they did not.
Yeah, it's a
But that's cool.
calculated gamble.
Good times.
All right, man, let's get to the fucking NFL. Jesus Christ. I can't believe
Let's
it
do
took
it.
us so long to get to the actual sports with my sports co-host. Let's go in order from the games this weekend, okay? This is the craziest wild card weekend we've ever seen. Fucking triple headers on Saturday and Sunday. I mean, that's good stuff. We'll start with the Colts at the Bills. What is your take on this game?
Bills.
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
I think the Bills are a lot of people's Super Bowl pick, and the Colts sort of limped into the playoffs. They have a few nice games here and there, but
And what seeding? Is that the 2-7?
that's a 2-7, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I got Bills, man. I think Bills they're gonna pass the ball. They're gonna play defense. Colts, man, what the fuck? Phillip Rivers, come on, man.
I still can't believe they're even in the playoffs, to be honest. I can't believe the Packers lost to them because we were up 28 to like 10 at halftime, and then we just kind of melted down and then had a fumble in overtime, and it was a flukish game. But I wasn't impressed with the Colts even after that win. So it was, it's still head scratching that Phillip Rivers is a starting quarterback in the National Football League.
Well, I think for the Packers that was just one of their stinkers.
Yeah, and we still lost by 3 in overtime.
Yeah. I mean, hell, the Saints lost by 3 to the Eagles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So, I think that was a stinker for the Packers. I think the Colts are lucky to be there. Phillip Rivers, man, the Bills are going to punch him in the mouth a couple times.
Yes.
And he'll throw a couple interceptions after that. His accuracy, I mean, so I just don't give the Colts a chance. What's the line?
Yeah, I'm pulling that up right now because I want to start putting my bets in now. See, I had a resurrection, John Ace. I was down to $5 with so every season now I put in $50 before the season, and that's it. That's my limit.
Huh.
And then I try to work it up to 100 so I can cash out, and I got to 130, and I was stubborn, and I started making poor bets, and then it got down to zero eventually because I was trying to get too much back too soon. So now it's back up to 92.64. And this is coinciding perfectly with the end of the season because now I can really cash it out. And I'm thinking about getting it in Bitcoin. But that's another conversation for another day.
God, I wish you'd done that about 2 years ago.
I know, right? I'd be a fucking... Well, I'd be doing right. Okay.
But I'm in it, by the way.
Okay, so you're going to have to...
I've been in it for a while. And life is good.
You recommend it, yes?
Well, now it's come a long way now. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I'm always hesitant to pin my hopes on a wing. In other words, like jump onto something, pile on to something that's already been going up for a while, because that's how people lost money in the first Bitcoin explosion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it shot up to like 20,000 overnight, and a bunch of people like jumped on as it was going up, and then it came down almost as quick as it went up.
Yeah.
A lot of people lost a lot of money. But
you gotta
so
ride
I would
the wave.
hesitate to say jump in now, but I would say Bitcoin looks really good long term. So look for a pullback would be my advice. Look for a pullback and then ease your way in. Don't just put everything you got in it at once, but just buy a little share. When it pulls back, buy a share or two.
And hang in there.
And the reason I say shares is because the way I'm in it is through a stock ETF, which invests in Bitcoin.
Okay.
Know what I'm saying?
So then, so this is sort of how I rationalized it a couple of days ago when my other buddy was over here, and he was explaining Bitcoin to me, and the way the website works, the gambling website I use, it's actually, they give you more of a payout if you do it through Bitcoin. So now I'm looking at this whole gambling thing as like, well, it's sort of an investment, because I'm not using this money for anything. It's like, it's a flat $50, and it's just basically like putting it in the stock system if I create it into Bitcoin and just let it sit and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, another way to do it, if you want to get into Bitcoin, and I realize we have digressed, but if you want to get into Bitcoin directly, you can get on like Coinbase.
I have Coinbase, yes.
Oh, okay.
I got it on my phone.
Yeah. And so like Coinbase, there's a few other exchanges.
So that's a reputable app then. I didn't just get like some crazy ass app.
It's one of the big boys, and it is reputable.
Like they're not going to hack my bank account.
I don't endorse it or recommend it. I'm in it, but I don't know enough about it to say, oh, it's totally trustworthy and you got nothing to worry about.
Right. Well, I just got the thing that had the most downloads and the highest star review.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's one of the most popular ones. It's huge. There's a whole lot of investors on there. And I haven't had any significant problem with it. I've had it for about 2 years and haven't had any significant, it's just some website glitchy stuff, But anyway, the whole point I was getting at is with your betting, which is an odd way, really kind of an odd form of investing, is...
I'm aware.
Okay, part of making money is minimizing risk.
Right.
Know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why I make my little $2 and $3 bets.
Right, but you eventually went from 130 to 0, right?
No, I went from
100.
Yeah, 100 and something to 0 because I started getting a little cocky. But then, okay, so
right. When you get cocky, you forget about risk.
I forgot about the come up, John Ace. I forgot about the struggle. I thought I was feeling myself too much, I think.
Yeah. And so when you get lucky a few times, or not necessarily that it's just luck, but even, you make a few good bets, you make a few good investments, and you lose sight of risk.
Yes.
When you don't encounter the consequences of risk that you're taking, you forget about it. It ceases to exist. And this part of making money is minimizing risk.
Yeah, and see,
So
that's how I built myself back up to 92.64. I started making easy and calculated bets, and it was a slow and grueling process, but here we are.
noise.
All right, back to the Indianapolis Colts and the Buffalo Bills, which is the first of the 6 NFL playoff games. The Saturday game is usually really shitty. Like, it's always like the Houston Texans and like the Cincinnati Bengals or some shit that nobody wants to watch. Nobody's even awake yet, on the West Coast at least. So the Bills are favored by 7, and you are telling me they're going to win by more than 7.
I think they're going to cover.
Put it on the board. The next game, Rams at Seahawks. This is their 3rd meeting of the year as their divisional rivals. Jared Goff has a broken thumb. It looks like he's going to play. But if not, their backup played serviceable last week. I can't even name his name. John Holcomb or Holland? I don't know.
Nah, whatever.
Walford, that's what it is, Walford. Very forgettable name. I think I'm going to take the under, which is 42 points. I think it's the first team to 20 that wins this game. The Seattle Seahawks are favored by 3.5 points. How say you?
You're taking an under at 42. So that's if you think about a tight game, that's like 21-21.
Right.
And you would hit that over.
Right. Well, if it was actually 21 to let's see, yeah. If it was 21-21, well, that's a tie and that won't happen. But let's say it was 23-21, I would lose. I'm thinking it's going to be something weird like 19-15 or something. Seattle always has these weird games where it's like 16-8 at the end of the 3rd quarter. Like they're always pulling some shenanigans.
Yeah. I would not take the under, even though it is a couple of good defenses. Rams are tremendous defense.
Rams, great defense. Seahawks defense has gotten better since the middle of the season.
Yeah, so it's a good couple of defenses, but man, the playoffs just have a way. Man, I don't know. Teams, I'm just going to shut the hell up because I want to come out with some ridiculous generalization.
You know, John, teams in this situation over the past 30 years collectively are over in this situation with no fans and a pandemic going on.
There's no doubt about that, Jesse.
Straight
Teams
up, though,
score points in the playoffs.
You know, you can't lose in the National Football League and win the game. That's my favorite. That's actually something Trent Dilfer said as an ESPN analyst.
Yeah, so I'm trying to avoid that, but I just would not take the under with these two teams, you know. And man, I'm going to take. I got Seattle.
Okay, yeah.
Just because the biggest sort of wild card to me is Russell Wilson. I don't know how many game-winning drives he's got up that ass of his.
It's a big ass, too.
Yeah, and he just keeps pulling them out.
Yeah.
So, and especially in big games. So, yeah.
Yeah, everything inside of me wants to take the Seahawks, but for some reason, I just feel like okay, so if I break down the Seattle's offense, DK Metcalf is their best receiver. He's going to be locked up by Jalen Ramsey from the Rams. I think he's a non-factor. I think Russell West. I keep calling him Russell Westbrook. I did it on the last show. Russell Wilson, not Russell Westbrook. I don't know. I think he's going to have to try to do too much against Aaron Donald. That defense is a lot better than we think. And really, I don't care if it's Jared Goff for the Rams or John Walford. Sean McVay is going to be pumping his little input into the helmet of whoever's starting, no matter what. And I'm sure he's going to have a carefully crafted game plan. I see the Rams not covering the spread, but winning overall.
Mm.
All right, the night game on Saturday night. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Washington football team. How say you? Tampa Bay favored by 8 points.
Could get interesting because of Washington's front seven.
Yeah, Chase Young, Washington's rookie, he was calling out Brady. I want Brady. Bring me Brady. And, of course, this game is being played in Washington because, the Washington football team got that division win, unlikely as it is.
Yeah, they won the, what division is it? The Little Girls East?
Yeah, the Lil East. But also, Washington, with Alex Smith as the starter, is 4-1. So, with that defense and the game managing of Alex Smith, I would at least take Washington and the points.
What's the line?
8. And the over-under is 44.
I got Tampa Bay.
Tampa to win outright.
Yeah. Yeah, I got Tampa. So I'll even say they cover, man.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, look.
Yeah, I kind of see that one as like Colts Bills, kind of.
I think it's close at first in both of those games, where it's close at first, and by the fourth quarter, it's like, Jesus, this game is still going on. This is over.
One thing, what's his name? Mike Evans, is he healthy?
I don't think he's going to play, no.
Okay.
He got hurt trying to catch a record.
Okay. Okay, so they got Gronk, Godwin, another good tight end.
O.J. Howard? No.
Oh, so they got a few, actually. There's another one, man.
Cameron Brate? Is he still there? Scotty Miller? Antonio Brown?
Oh, yeah. Antonio Brown. Yeah, I got Tampa Bay, man. I think they're going to roll.
Yeah, I might take Washington with the points. I think they keep it close, but we'll see. I'm not going to put too much on that one.
And you never know, man. They got the front seven that could be disruptive if they could force a fumble or two.
Oh, yeah.
They could make something happen.
They could break Brady's leg.
Yeah.
Chase Young could take him out of the game.
Yeah, they could cut Brady's head off, man.
They could. All right, I was going to go too far. I had to stop myself.
They could rip his head off, put it on a stick, and bring it to Giselle and say, Tom says hi.
Well, this game is in Washington. I was going to say just bring it to the Capitol building. Climb the wall. Put it outside the door.
Yeah, Brady is a MAGA hat.
He's a Trumper. Sunday afternoon, Ravens at Titans. The Ravens are favored by 3.5 points. How say you?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
You were still digesting
I was still
debauchery?
thinking about Brady's head on a stick.
Yeah. So the Ravens are visiting the Tennessee Titans, and they're favored by 3.5. The Ravens are.
Lamar Jackson's been looking kind of good, right, lately?
Yeah, Baltimore's sort of on the uptick, and Tennessee's sort of on the downward spiral. Even though they won last week, it was mostly based on Derrick Henry being a grown-ass man.
Yeah. And now, didn't the Packers wallop the Titans?
Oh, I don't know, John Ace. It was just a light 42-14 beating, but you know.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll take Baltimore.
I like it.
And I'll take Baltimore to cover.
Yeah, especially that. That's the juicy tease right there. So the cover and the over of 54. I say no. I say under, and Baltimore covers.
I agree.
That's a good.
Let's see,
best
54.
Bet.
That's like a 27 of 27.
Yeah,
I'd take the under.
I don't see Tennessee getting that many points. And if it becomes a shootout like that, though, I don't know. I guess it would be the Ravens to win either way. Okay.
I mean, the Titans pass game. Now, first of all, okay, it's the NFL playoffs, right? Once you get into the playoffs, things get taken away. Like usually the best thing that you do gets taken away, at least for maybe 2 or 3 quarters.
Right.
You know, eventually you'll get off, but you know, so I don't trust the Derrick Henry running game. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're gonna roll with that the whole time.
Well, dare I say the Packers defense gave the blueprint on how to stop the Titans, because Henry only had 90-something, I think 94 yards. And, I mean, aside from a couple of fluke plays, the Titans did nothing on offense. So, if you can hold Derrick Henry under 100 yards and force Tannehill, who actually is better than some people think, force Tannehill to beat you with A.J. Brown and Corey Davis and Jonnu Smith.
Yeah, and Tannehill is underrated, I think. I agree with you.
But he's still not that dude.
But if the Henry running game isn't there, he's not going to beat you.
Unless he just has some sort of, like, transformative game where it's like, oh, shit, Tannehill is not who we thought he was. He can do this, but, you know, that's highly unlikely. I like Mike Vrabel as a coach. I think him going against Jim Harbaugh is kind of cool. I'm sorry, John Harbaugh. And this is my favorite game to watch of the weekend, to be honest. And I don't even fuck with the AFC. Yeah, it's a good one. I don't even like the AFC, John Ace. All right, the 3:40 game. The Chicago Bears at the New Orleans Saints. John Ace, the Saints are favored by 10 points. How say you?
Jesus. You know, on paper, the Saints roll, but you could wad that paper up, throw it out the fucking window. Because look at last year, you know, when the Vikings stumbled down in New Orleans and beat the fuck out of the Saints.
Well, it was the last...
The Saints had to climb back into it late to make it close.
Right.
But really, we got smacked. We got whipped, man, especially in the trenches for 3 quarters, you know? So, I mean, for that, and Breeze looked like shit in that game.
It was that fumble, right?
Yeah.
Is that the same?
Didn't he have a pick also?
I don't remember the pick, but I just remember him trying to make too much out of one play, and he got his hand hit.
Yes, that's when you get Breeze. That's how you get Breeze, by the way, is that quick pressure, man. Safety blitz or corner blitz, or, you know, or one of the offensive linemen just getting completely
Yeah,
dominated.
who was that offensive lineman that just whiffed on a whole?
He's gone now. That was
Okay,
Larry Warford,
that's what.
and he's
Yes,
gone
okay.
now.
He was just like,
So
oh, whoops, uh-oh.
yeah, yeah, that was his ticket out of town right there.
Yeah,
But it's that really quick pressure, man. Any kind of normal pressure, Breeze can feel that shit and avoid it. He's got tremendous pocket presence, but it's just that quick pressure from unblocked guys.
yeah.
That's when you get Breeze, and that's when he just, for whatever reason, if you could get to Breeze in under 2 seconds, you got him. So, I mean, maybe that goes for any quarterback. I don't know, except for the really mobile ones. So after these last 3 years, man, let me just tell you, in general, I have not been able to get that excited about the Saints this year. In general, I mean, come on, man. They got smacked around by Gruden and the Raiders. They lost at Philly. I mean, hell, it took them overtime to beat the Bears last time. Although there was a lot going on in that game, like
Wait,
personnel-wise.
They played earlier this year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they beat the Bears 26-23 by a field goal.
Was that with Foles or Trubisky?
Foles.
Okay.
That was Foles. It's quite different now. Both teams, they had the Saints defense was looking horrible at that time. And the Saints defense has just gotten better every week, since then.
Yeah, definitely.
And then there were personnel issues. I'm not sure if Mike Thomas was playing. I think they were without Mike Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders maybe for that game. So it's quite different this time around. The Saints look a lot better on paper than they did at that time. So there's a lot of different stuff, but I have not been able to get excited about the Saints this year because of the last 3 years in the playoffs. Oh, you look great, man. 13-3, 12-4, and you get in the playoffs and you suck. So, and it's kind of like what you've been saying, which is, you don't give a fuck about anything until it gets to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I've kind of felt that way about the Saints this year, just because they've just been, well, I mean, they should have been in the Super Bowl in 2018.
Yep. I'll always give you that one.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 2018. It took a miracle to beat them in 2017. It took the NOLA no call to beat them, another miracle in 2018. 2019, we got whipped in the first round. So it's just, I don't know. It's like my wifey said, we're just happy to just be able to watch another game.
Ah, wow. Y'all have already gotten
know
to
what I'm
that
saying?
point. Jesus Christ, this is dark.
No, it's not that, it ain't that bad. I mean, I think we're going to win.
It's the ultimate gratitude. It's just like, well, at least we get to see them lace it up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even thinking about who's next week or eventually going to Green Bay or none of that shit. It's just, I mean, we'll see what happens this week. It's the only way you could be after the last 3 years with the Saints.
Yeah, no, this will go down in history as the Buffalo Bills, sort of snake bitten.
Yeah.
Losing 4 Super Bowls in a row. This is like a close second or third of just Jesus Christ, we had an awesome team. And somehow we just get fucked over in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Maybe
or we fuck ourselves over.
Right. Maybe Roger Goodell has forgiven Sean Payton by now, and we can actually move on to some real contests,
Yeah. Yeah. But as far as the matchup, I mean, Saints should roll. I mean, come on, man. Saints can run the ball. They're getting their running backs back, I think, to my knowledge. Kamara will be reactivated, I think, on the morning of game day.
What if he has a positive COVID test that morning?
We'll just have to do it again with Taysom Hill and Ty Montgomery. And this running back we pulled off the practice squad, who wasn't bad, this guy Jones, I can't remember his name, but he wasn't half bad. It's a good little runner. You know, you just worry about the protections.
Yeah. Pass blocking
You know,
out of the backfield is what makes some running backs stay on the sideline and others get on the field.
exactly. So we got runners. I mean, Ty Montgomery is fine. Good athlete.
I know Ty. I know Ty.
Yeah, I know you know Ty. So, and then defensively, come on, man. Bears ain't going to be able to run the ball against that front of the Saints.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Onyemata, Shai Tuttle, Sheldon Rankins, Cam Jordan, Marcus Davenport, Trey Hendrickson. I mean, there are 6 deep on that defensive line, you know, and all of those guys could start somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, the
The
Saints just got it up front, you know. So, the Bears are going to have problems running the ball. Now, the Saints do have hiccups on the back end from time to time.
I haven't seen. Okay, so that whole Bears-Packers game last week, I didn't see Trubisky throw one pass over 15 yards only but once. So everything's going to be underneath. The only chance the Bears have is if they copy the exact game plan that the Eagles ran a few weeks back.
Yeah.
Where it's like Jalen Hurts, but white.
Yeah. Well, that's impossible. Yeah, I mean, so we'll just see what happens, man. But, I mean, people didn't think much of Kirk Cousins.
True.
Before that
and he
that
hadn't,
game
he
last
hadn't
year.
won a playoff game.
That's right. You know.
It was that Adam Thielen long bomb, I think against Marcus Williams. And then it was the Drew Brees. No, the Adam Thielen one was later in the game. But it was the Drew Brees fumble that was it. And then Kirk Cousins' unbelievable throw to Adam Thielen, diving, falling to the ground, catching it over, I believe, Marcus Williams.
Yes, that's right. But he made like a handful of like really good throws.
Little nifty shit.
Throws against the blitz. He burned us a few times on the blitz, you know. He just had his game against us, you know. So
you like that?
Trubisky could do the same, but I'm going to stop beating around the bush and go ahead and make a call here. I think the Saints win, and I think they cover. And I'll tell you why. Because I think the defense is just lights out right now. And I think the offense is going to be lights out because I think they're going to be pretty much full on healthy. Offensive line, I think they're going to have Emmanuel Sanders and Michael Thomas and Callaway and Traquan Smith back. I mean, I think they're going to have they're going to have their running backs. They're going to have their full receiver core. I think. I'm not sure about this. We'll have to see on game day. But I think they're going to be pretty as full strength as they have been all year. And Sean Payton's going to have shit dialed up for them, you know. So I think we go. I'm gonna make the call that we go ahead and roll like we're supposed to in this one. All right. Saints cover.
It's on the board, and yeah, the only reason I'm rooting for the Bears is because I don't want to have to see the Saints come into Lambeau Field and beat us. And now I live in Louisiana again. It would just be too much for me. I would have to kill myself.
Yeah, that would hurt.
Also, the only clothes I have on my back are the ones that I carried with me in the rental car. Our movers haven't even gotten here yet, so I have no choice but to wear only Packers gear everywhere I go. So it's just, I mean, my face mask, it's a Packers mask, you know, like I can't survive down here, John H., with the Saints beating the Packers. So I'm sorry, I'm going to have to root for the Bears.
Yeah. Man, you're going to have to isolate.
I know.
If the Saints go up there.
A Packers quarantine. All right, the last game of the weekend slate is the Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers. They just played last week. Steelers resting most of their players. And the Browns without their head coach and offensive coordinator, Kevin Stefanski. He has
and some players, right?
a few players. One of their offensive linemen, one of their best ones, Batoni, I believe, is out. The Steelers almost won last week with backups. And then there were a couple of Browns players who were cited for drag racing ahead of this game. Last night, one of the guys, Rashawn Higgins, is a wide receiver. He tweeted out, "Just trying to get away from COVID." That was his excuse for drag racing. So, can't they just put Kevin Stefanski in an actual bubble, like like
like
the bubble boy, and just let him stand on the sideline with the radio antenna and everything? Like, what's the issue here? Like, I understand it with
I don't
players.
see why not.
With players, I understand because you're breathing each other's face, you're falling, you're slapping each other's asses, you're, making out and everything. But just with a head coach, you're just standing on the field. Just give him a bubble like the bubble boy, and let him coach from the sideline. What the hell?
Yeah, let him roll around out there.
It's always be funny if he would fall and he just like rolls around in the bubble, knocks a few people over like a bowling ball. If I'm him and I'm not able to attend that game and actually coach, I'm rooting for the Browns to lose, because if you can win a playoff game without your head coach / offensive coordinator, what good are you? Well, what? All of a sudden, the front office is like, we don't need this guy. What the hell is he? He got COVID, and we had a backup call plays, and we did fine.
Yeah.
So the Browns are favored by, the Steelers are favored by 6.5. How say you?
Browns.
Are you serious?
Browns. Man, they're going to run the ball.
Okay.
Chubb.
Yeah.
That's one I'd take the Browns in the points.
Okay. So, yeah, even if they don't win, you think it's like 23-20, 31-28?
Yeah, I think it makes sense to take the Browns and the Perns. And I think they're going to run the ball. And Baker Mayfield, I'm really irritated by him.
Oh, yeah, not a fan. Not a fan either.
But dude is chomping at the bit, man. I mean, I feel like he's on the cusp of something.
Well,
like the chip on his shoulder.
Part of what made him great this season was Stefanski sort of narrowing the offense down and being competent. And I don't know if Stefanski's not on the field for that, to talk to him and be like, "Hey, Baker, all right, on this play, we're going to do this, and you have a nice butt."
Wow.
You felt that in your headset, right?
All that needs is some porn music with it.
Wow, chicka wow, chicka wow, chicka wow. Boom, dum, 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 wow, chicka wow, chicka wow.
I was thinking more like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you're taking the Browns and the points, and that's it.
I just don't believe much in the Steelers, man. I mean, what do you think? Okay, they went 11-0, right? They don't run the ball.
Yeah, James Conner is not a modern-day NFL running back. Even on Madden, he has like an 86 speed. You can't do anything with that guy except block.
But, I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm an idiot, and I'm not paying attention for the most part. But from what I understand, like as far as play selection, I mean, the Steelers don't run the ball, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they just pass. And they open Big Ben. Now, Big Ben's playing, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were just resting him last week.
they just opened him up to take hits, and I just okay. And the Browns got this running game. They got weapons in the passing game. This up and coming quarterback. It's a division rivalry, and man, I feel a Brown wave coming on.
That's interesting what you say about your digestive tract, but we're talking about football here, John Ace.
I'm not. We've been talking about football the whole time.
I mean, you and your Brown wave it sounds concerning. Let's get out of here on this. I know a lot of us have been having bad days recently, maybe bad weeks, but I want to highlight someone who's had truly a bad 3 days. Dr. Dre. Are you familiar with this guy?
The pop star?
Wow. All right. I gotta go.
Or no, he's the task force, the coronavirus task force.
I wish he was, actually. He'd probably get some shit done.
He could do a better job.
Dr. Dre, one of the best producers, beat makers. He did a little rapping as well. Just one of the best of all time. Fell on some hard times. Had a hell of a week, I'll tell you. He was hospitalized with a brain aneurysm. While in the hospital, his home got burglary.
Jesus.
And then, the first thing he has to do whenever he recovers from his aneurysm is sign a $2 million payment to his estranged wife for spousal support. This man's going through it, and I love him, and I love his beats, and I wish him a speedy recovery. Godspeed, Dr. Dre. Not Dr. Drew.
Good luck, man. My first memories of Dr. Dre are the late 80s, I believe it was, on the NWA.
Mm-hmm.
And it went something like, "What the fuck is up? In the place to be. Coming on the mic is easy, motherfucking E. Dre is on the beat." I don't remember the rest of it.
Yeah,
but that's all
do.
you need to know.
Yeah, man. That shit was nice. That was some fire. All right, John Ace, where can people find you? I know you got a whole series, okay? So you're over here building these motherfucking railroads. I'm going to do the rest of the interview like Dr. Dre.
Check out...
Yo, man, check out my boy John Ace on YouTube.
Check out Mystic Southern Railway if you want to see something stupid and kind of cool.
It's not stupid, John Ace. I don't think any of our listeners could do what you're doing right now.
Don't say that, man. Let me have my low self-esteem.
There's a lot of shaving. There's a lot of painting. There's a lot of caressing that I think goes on after hours when no one's around. Yes or yes?
A lot of spreading.
Uh-huh. A lot of inserting trees.
That's true. That's true.
Into the landscape. Absolutely. Check out.
Yeah, it's a bunch of I make little stuff. Check it out. Exciting.
When are you coming back? Are we gonna preview this Saints-Packers game if it happens?
If it happens, yes.
All right.
I'm there.
And we'll talk a lot of shit, and we'll punch each other through the computer.
Sounds good.
John Ace.
Jesse LaSala.
Thanks for being on the Jesse LaSala Show, and thanks for listening to the Jesse LaSala Show. We out!
Peace!